Welcome. My name is Tim Terrell. I'm the Director of Pressure Management Group, and this is our Santa Fe Springs VR shop and assembler for Anderson, Greenwood, Crosby, and Varick and Arnardo. This is one of two VR shops we have in Southern California, the other one being in Taft, near Bakersfield, California. And we have a third VR shop we will be opening up in the first quarter of 2021, a 30,000 square foot facility in Benicia. So glad to have you join us. I'll take you on a quick tour through the shop, and it's our entry point into the Santa Fe Springs valve shop. Obviously, we take safety very seriously here. I came aboard in 2015, January of 2015, and in the 6 years I've been here, we've had no reportable or recordable events. We have our PPE for ear and eye protection. Also, we require proper footwear when walking through the shop, so something we take, we put a high cost on. So if you'll notice right here, this is our controlled part cage. This is where all our consumables and hard parts are kept. That's locked at all times with only access with one or two individuals. So we try to keep a tight inventory here. Obviously, during the COVID times, we are not allowing our customers to enter through the front door. We have a single entry point, so that would be right here next to our parking lot. And that's where we have a sign-in sheet and we do a temperature check prior to proceeding. In the event that people don't have proper PPE, we direct them over here to grab some glasses. So this part of the shop is where we maintain a lot of our spares. You'll notice some gaps. We are in the process of a turnaround right now for one of our air separation customers. So we have about 80 of our spares out back being sandblasted and going through the repair process. But you'll notice this whole section is all for spares. These are also spares or a product that has already been purchased. It's on hold. We currently have approximately 1,200 plus spares that we keep for our customers in this climate controlled environment. We have the capacity at our other location and here to probably add 2-3 times that. So spare availability is not a problem for us. This is where we keep most of our LAVs and springs for new product for assembly. This is a customer-focused inventory. We maintain around 700 to 800,000 in inventory on the shelf at all times. Of course, that can be adjusted to cater to the particular customer's needs. So this is the receiving point for our valves that come into the shop. Our shop facility is approximately 10,000 square feet. This is Brody Roa. Brody is our service manager. He is our single point of contact for all service-related issues. So even though we have a lot of different players here, especially field supervisors and people you'll see out in the field that are participating in our service department, Brody is the main point of contact. Brody answers his phone 24/7, even when he's on vacation. Isn't that right, Brody? So this is our receiving department. So when valves come in, our shipping and receiving writes the valve up, all the pertinent information, work order, PO, tag numbers, that goes up to the repair coordinator who will generate a paper traveler. In addition to the paper traveler, he inputs the information into our business system, which is also synced to our valve management software. So an electronic traveler is produced as well. This comes back down to the shop and essentially follows the valve through each station through the repair process, which you as a client will have customer access to through our valve management portal. We move through the shop this way to one of our pre-test stands, assuming a customer wants a pre-test. We have our threaded pre-test stand and our flange pre-test stand. So after the pre-test, the valve goes to tear down. And a new piece of technology that we recently purchased is a valve nozzle remover. Oftentimes, nozzles can be very difficult to remove, and it could take an hour to literally 8 hours to break out a connection on a nozzle. This nozzle remover takes it's a safety measure because you obviously don't have any fingers involved. And instead of having to use cheater pipes and torches and everything that goes into breaking off a nozzle, including the time, we now have a nozzle remover. So Zach will show us how you just basically, once it's hooked up, It's adjustable for the torque. So this particular valve we know, I think, was registered at over 4,000 pounds of torque pressure. That would have taken a long time to break that nozzle out, and as you can see, it's doing the work for us. So the nozzle remover is part of the teardown process, and where we used to have to do that on our V blocks here on our workbenches, you can see there's a valve sitting in that. That's actually a steam valve sitting on a V block. We now use the nozzle remover, and then it comes over here for teardown. Once we tear the valves down, we take them back to our sandblasting section. So these are a couple of our other test stands. Our high pressure test stand goes up to 8,000 PSI, and our J tube, which is for liquid service valves. We're in the process of ordering a couple of new test stands that will basically combine all these test stands into two, and they have their own independent software, valve management software, charting capability, all the bells and whistles, including additional safety measures. So it's a little noisy back here because we are currently sandblasting. These are just a couple of our cabinet sandblasters. Once the valves are sandblasted, they come back into our QC area for inspection. Now, as former ferrous assemblers, even laser assemblers, our service group is very familiar with all PRV manufacturers. We have all the critical tolerances and all the OEM specifications for every valve manufactured. We have a combined experience here of over 40 years. Our QC inspector has been one of two QC inspectors has been doing inspection for almost 20 years. And this is basically our QC inspector. You can see there's a couple of nozzles and discs over here that have already are ready to go. So once the valve has been sandblasted, it comes in for inspection, whatever parts are ordered. Once those parts come in, if they're not in our part cage or wherever we source them, then they come back out for reassembly. And they will come back out to our test benches out here. Assembled back here, this is our paint booth over here. You can see it's roughly a 10 by 10 paint booth. Incidentally, this is Mario. He's he's our most senior QC inspector. He gets on the valves as well, doesn't just sit back there inspecting on the quality control. This is obviously as part of our national board certification. We have to have a paper traveler that travels with the valve at all times. But also now, as part of our valve management software, we have iPads, so that every step of the process, we have an electronic traveler essentially that goes through each station to keep track of where the valve is in the process. So we're kind of later in the morning on today. Usually we have quite a few valves that are going out first thing in the morning, but once the valve is painted, assembled and painted, it comes here or in the back where we bolt flange valves down and palletize them where they're ready to be shipped. Here, this is a mobile unit that we often send out of state or on longer jobs for a week or two. And you can take a quick glance, but it comes with a sandblaster, lathe, everything we need to be able to do complete valve repair in the field. Another service that we provide both in the shop and as a field service, have several customers in the Long Beach, South Bay area, as well as Bakersfield and Southern California, is a tank vent service and repair. So wanted to be sure to include that as part of our service package for both field and shop service. So this is the second building that we have. We were at 11904. That's where our VR shop is, but we also have a shop 2 doors down at 1150 that we sublease to a neighbor. However, we maintain our boiler on the back property of this lease. So if you'll see, this is a V-Power boiler. I believe it's one of the highest capacity boilers in California, definitely for valve testing. It's rated at, I believe, 3,100 PSI. maximum allowable working pressure. Not a whole lot to see, but we about 3 years ago, we repiped everything at a cost into six figures. So it might not look like it, but it's essentially a brand new gas boiler for us. We also put in a new control panel. We have one, and we have our permits to operate that always stay with the boiler. So thank you for coming by and looking at our Santa Fe Springs shop. We hope that once things clear up with the pandemic, that we'll be able to host you here and give you a personalized tour and show you more of our capacity and what we're able to do for you. But thanks for coming by.